What's up, y'all? Rich Slayton here, and today, by popular demand, I'm bringing back another deck breakdown, 5 quick tips to help make you better, and this time, it's for Lava Loon with Miner. And to make that happen, to help really get into this deck, I've brought on one of the great Lava Loon Miner players in the game, DaJuicyOne, personal best on ladder, over 8.1k, and he might be pushing higher this season, so we'll invite him on in just one moment. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, use code RICH in the Supercell shop. And if you don't use my code, use someone's code in Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars, whatever. It's a great way to support your favorite creator. Enough of that, though. Let's jump right on into it. DaJuicyOne. Dude, Juicy, great to have you on. Really excited to see you here. And, of course, we have your current profile up on screen right now. And seeing the deck we're going to run, we'll talk about that more later. But, man, you've done a lot of stuff with Lava, and with Lava in a time where it might be a pretty hard deck to run.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of difficult matchups with Lava, but for right now in the meta, it's doing pretty well.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right into our tips. And the first one, you laid out some really great stuff here. And the first one that you said that might kind of confuse some people is that you view Lava Hound as a deck that should be offense right out the gate. We kind of talk a lot about Lava first play, but it seems to me from the way you've described it that getting aggressive early with Lava Hound rather than playing it like a beatdown deck might be the move.
So I start with, I go offense from the start because, since it's a very offensive deck, you don't have much in the way of defense since, no buildings, no high damage spells, 3 win conditions. You want to play offense the entire game. If you, spend your time cycling, playing more passive, doing things like that, that's just giving yourself less time to deal damage.
Now, does that mean Lava first play when it's in hand, depending on what's going on, or do you think more about going with some Miner and other support troops early and then holding on to Lava if you can until later in the game?
Generally, Lava first play is the right play, unless sometimes you'll have your opponent do something aggressive at the start too.
And then that point,
then let's say they go Golem, you'd rather go Inferno Dragon first, then you'd want a Lava. Or maybe if they go Hog first play, you'd want to guards, minions, or if you don't have those, then iDrag.
So those are all options. You're talking about the offensive nature of Lava Hound and Lava Loon Miner in particular. But, you talk about Lava first play, but Lava, from your perspective, is also really critical on the defensive side of the board, and that's number 2 on your list of tips here, is using Lava Hound as a defensive shield.
So against many beatdown decks, they'll try to overwhelm you and overwhelm your iDrag and kill your iDrag before it kills their tank. So you need your Lava Hound to block their support units. And then the Lava Pups can also help out in killing them.
Yeah, lots of purposes for there on the defensive side of the board. Now, when you're talking about setting that up defensively, do you typically go sane lane, opposite lane? I know it's obviously different for different matchups, but with lane decisions, is there any general guidelines for you?
Generally, you want to go same lane in most matchups, unless it's a deck where they always lane swap, such as 2.6 Hog. Your opponents generally want to go opposite lane. But for matchups that are more difficult, like Golem and stuff, you really want to go same lane. So you can iDrag their Golem and have your Lava block the Night Witch Bats and the or Mega Minions, the E-Drags, things like that.
Excellent.
Whichever version of Golem they're using.
Yeah, and then I think you mentioned to me earlier that one of the ones that you want to go opposite lane is Expo.
Oh, that's because, for every deck against Expo, if you tower trade, it's so much more difficult for Expo to win because you can just drop things right on top of the Expo.
And that certainly
when
helps
opposite
out
towers
a lot.
are taken. Yeah, it makes it much easier to beat it.
So that's our first 2 tips, being really offensive, but also playing that Lava Hound from the defensive side. Third tip on your list was how critical knowing card cycle is, specifically when paying attention to those air counters.
Yeah, so when you're going in aggressively, besides the first play, which of course, you want to know, do they have their air counters in hand? If you go balloon behind your Lava, will they be able to easily destroy it? Or do you need to worry about killing those air counters first?
So obviously some really important parts about cycle, and one of the things in that cycle is this deck goes very, very slow, and then doesn't have a whole lot for the ground. And it seems like a really critical part of your side on tracking cycle is when you have your miner and how you actually use it. You know, a lot of people talk about miner's typically thought of primarily as a second win condition, or in this case, a third win condition. But for you, it seems like miner, from what you've been describing before, that miner is more about being a precision tool and less about being a blunt object.
Mm-hmm. The main point of the miner is either to kill E-Wizzes, Mother Witches, things like that, since you don't really have any other way to kill it, since, you know, you have your low damage spells, which also can be used to help chip those out, but also to make sure you can kill all those swarmy units.
So making sure you can get that miner like as a precision strike on things that might shut down your offense.
Mm-hmm. And then on the other hand, it's meant to use just as a secondary tank to make sure either lava pups, minions, or just a balloon get good value.
Well, good value, obviously important. And talk about value with this deck. You know, one of the things that I've experienced, you know, I've been DMing you all day about how rough my Lava Loon Miner play has been. And when I described what was going on, you're like, well, yeah, you're in the middle of ladder, and matchups there are bananas and insanity. And it seems like this is a deck that either is a top ladder deck or a deck that's better for classic and grand challenges, as opposed to one in mid ladder. And a lot of that feels like it might be because of matchup.
Yeah, generally, if you can figure out what you're up against, it helps a lot. Since you don't want to go, like, play your eye drag high if you're trying to, like, kill a giant or something, and then they just pull out an E-Wiz or something. You kind of want to know what you're up against.
So would you recommend that maybe you push through, if you're talking about ladder, push with something else until you get into a more stable part of the ladder? Or even for those players who maybe aren't ever going to be hitting the 8K range, that maybe they stick with Lava Loon Miner as a challenge deck rather than a ladder deck?
So if you've played a lot of like that mid ladder range, you can kind of understand what they have. Like sometimes they'll like surprise you, but you know that they're going to have a lot of wizards, witches, stuff like that, which are cards that can be difficult for this deck to deal with, but you can deal with them. So with like minor arrows, minor zap. So this deck can work everywhere, but generally the higher you are, the easier it is. It's like one of the only decks that's kind of like that.
It's kind of it reverses as opposed to being it needs to be in a place where you have a clear meta as opposed to just, you know, you're shooting the dice and hoping it comes out nice.
Yeah, also the higher you go, there's more decks like Minor Wall Breakers and other cycle decks. So, you know, that's very helpful for this deck.
Certainly. So
those are your best matchups.
To review those tips, get aggressive with offense from the start. This is a big offensive deck. Lava Hound is huge as a defensive shield, not just as an offensive tool. Sometimes it's better to play something else before Lava and use Lava to pick up attacks on that. Knowing your card cycle to track especially those key air counters is big, especially when combined with rule number 4, getting your miner placement down as a surgical strike onto some of those counters they might play. And then number 5, identifying the matchup early is very, very important, knowing what you're up against, which is one reason why maybe it's not the best deck for mid-ladder, but of course, if you're an expert, then maybe you can play through it either way. Have we covered all the big ones here, Juicy?
These are the biggest tips that you need. Once you start understanding all of these and get the basics down with Lava, it gets a lot easier.
Well, you know, it's a lot easier maybe for you, for some still trying to learn. That's why we're making this video. And of course, there's one thing everyone wants to see in a video like this, and that's some live gameplay. So let's go ahead and get you queued up and watch some actual real Lava Loon Miner gameplay from a guy who you said that your goal this season is to set a new personal best.
Well, my goal is for a new best finish. Personally, I care more about like ranked finishes than trophy PB, and my best finish is 86th in the world, so I want to beat that. So going for better, so still going top 100 and better than 86th. Well, let's see if that journey can continue right now. Currently at 8,023 trophies, so go ahead and press play, and when you have a game, we'll jump on in. Oh, I actually got a good matchup.
So here we go, and I hear you say you got a good matchup. What's he running? You recognize the name of
this guy's running a Balloon Musketeer Bomb Tower cycle.
Balloon Musk Bomb Tower, got it. And that's a good matchup. A lot of it is because the Inferno Dragon for the Balloon, obviously, and then Miner and Guards on the...
The main thing that makes this matchup good is just the fact that he doesn't have much in the way of air defense. Okay, he gets 2 balloon hits there. That's all right.
But now has to contend with Lava and Inferno Dragon push with no Snowball and no Musketeer in cycle.
Okay, he got his Musketeer back. Okay, I need to get a miner on that and then zap it too. Okay, that's good.
Oh, that's really, really nice. And that's tower. Or just or close.
Almost tower.
So pretty close right now, 601 to 523 after the first minute of gameplay. And you tanked that balloon. What's the call here? Is it to play defense against the next balloon, or is it to go for a tower trade?
So his snowball's out of cycle, so I just got to go lava on the right lane.
Okay.
Try to get some value with that. Because he's going to want to go ice golem balloon. Okay, or he's just going to go miner, he goes. I don't agree with that.
Now, I saw you didn't go all the way in the corner. Why on that tile rather than buried completely in the corner?
So I want the his bomb tower to pull. Okay, that was actually a good play from him. Actually, except the fact that the targeting's not doing what he wants with the musketeer.
Musketeer going to the loon now, though. The balloon snowball.
Barely getting a shot.
Wow, yeah, snowball does not do him the justice he wanted.
Yeah, and this is tower. He cannot do anything about it.
Wow. Wow, absolutely shredded.
That bridge bomb tower is just way too ambitious by him. If the musketeer was going to target the balloon, that would have been a very good play, but I knew that it wasn't going to work out.
And I noticed you're not even worried about defending that right-hand side, just figuring between snowballs and miners that it was going to be a GG.
Okay. He's just going to try to rush me for 3 crown. It's the only way. But that balloon's not going to be able to do it. Just to make sure, I'll arrow. Balloon gets 2 shots.
Wow. Very nicely played.
But just... Technically, it's not over yet. But, okay, it's over.
I mean, yeah, technically. So, yeah, I mean, he got pretty aggressive there. Obviously, like, you know, from my perspective, Snowball and Musketeer with a fast cycle deck, he has decent options, but obviously, you know, when things got heavy, not able to hold on to it, and so you pull out a really, really nice win here. Just thinking about what we saw there, the big question I want to come back to is you played that Lava Hound, not rather than being all the way in the corner, you played it one step in from the corner, right? It's one tile in, and it looked like part of that reasoning was I saw you tuck the balloon in behind the Lava Hound on the outside. Is that why you were doing that?
So I was anticipating that he was going to bomb tower more the middle instead of at the bridge.
And then you were
because
use to push
because
around?
of where the musketeer was, the bridge bomb tower wasn't going to make the musketeer hit the balloon. So like a middle bomb tower would have been the only correct play there, but he made the wrong play. So.
And if he played the middle bomb tower, would that Lava Hound have pushed the loon outside of the bomb tower pull range?
No, but it would have made the Lava Hound hit the bomb tower and damage it, making it easier to get rid of.
To get past it.
It's more of a play that helps against Teslas, but it can also help like 2 or 3 I'm not exactly sure how many lava hits it takes to knock the bomb tower out after the balloon hit, but I know at Teslas it's like 2.
Well, either way, it was a really nice game and really, really fun to watch on our end. Juicy, first of all, I'm sure everyone who's watching right now is going to say, like, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming and being a part of this, helping kind of break down a deck that mystifies some people. Mystified me. I learned a lot from watching you today and from going through these tips. Of course, people can find you at DaJuicyOne_CR on Twitter. Anywhere else that they should come and check you out?
That's really the only place you can find me for Clash right now.
Excellent. And, you know, you're going for a new best finish. 86 on ladder is your current best. Any predictions on where we might find you at the end of the season?
Hopefully 85 or better, but
there you go.
We'll see.
You can't hope for much more than that. Well, thanks again to DaJuicyOne, and for all of you watching at home, I hope that you learned something. Hoping to do more of these, bringing these little like quick 5 tips on how to break down certain decks and archetypes that are really popular. So if there's a deck that you want to see, bring on somebody who's an expert with it and have us break down some of the key core concepts, leave a comment below. Tell me what that is so we can find some great ways to help you tune up your game. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, ring the bell, use code RICH, or at least someone's code. Support a creator. It's super cool to do, and I will see you back next time right here on the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. Remember, as always, be excellent to each other.